These are my highlights from round 3 of the Tromsø Olympiad. There are so many games going on that it's hard to get an overview of actually what's happening. But I've just picked the ending of 2 games. So first of all, I'd like to look at the decisive encounter in the match between the Netherlands and the USA. Robin van Kampen representing the Netherlands, and he was playing against Varojan Akobian from the United States. The match was 1.5, 1.5. This game was going on for ages, and van Kampen has, with the white pieces, has been making steady progress. You can see van Kampen has the bishop pair, can be a huge asset in the endgame. He also has a space advantage, so if we have a look, you can see this pawn gives white a lot of space, and he's using that to actually advance his king up the board. Okay, these are nice positional assets, but white still has to break through, and this is white's big problem in the position actually. So Akobian has played bishop g4, and van Kampen gave a check on e4. And here, if Black retreats with the king, it seems that he might be able to hold this position. It's tough. Black is quite passive, and that's always dangerous. White somehow has to engineer a breakthrough with the king on the queen side, like this. The problem is, when the king gets here, then the bishop could well be able to just block the king out here, or sometimes from e2, sometimes playing to d1 to hassle the pawn. But this is Black's best, but a tough defense ahead. Instead, after bishop e4 check, Akobian played bishop f5. Well, it was a long game, and it's easy to make mistakes under such circumstances. This loses. Van Kampen had calculated exactly. First of all, he exchanged bishop for knight. And now perhaps Akobian had just made a reflex calculation that if bishop takes, king takes, then actually it's Black that wins, because now the king is breaking through to take this pawn, and it's all over. But instead of exchanging, van Kampen just retreated with the king, and now this position is Zugzwang. However Black plays, I'm afraid his position goes down. White can simply wait here. So for example, after b5, white simply waits with king d4, and now Black has to do something here. Well, actually after king e3, Black exchanged bishops. He didn't bother waiting and brought his king back. Now if the white king goes forward, then actually it's a draw. Black just blocks white out. But instead, f5 came. Excellent move. Now the black king is unable to step up the board here. The king side is blocked, and white's plan is simply to come over to the queen side and take this pawn. So king f7. The king's rushed over to the queen side. Very simple. And king a6, and Akobian had to resign. So the Netherlands scored a very nice victory over the US team. Big result. Now let me show you one more game from the match between Belgium and Bangladesh. And this is the game between Luc Winants from Belgium and Zia Rahman from Bangladesh. And you can see, well, we have a typical kind of pawn structure here, white with the pawns locked in the center of the board. This can arise from many, many different openings, but it gives white a space advantage. So sometimes this d6 pawn can be weak if white breaks through. And, well, white has a space advantage, and in fact, Winants managed to break through with the queen, and now Black's king is in some trouble. Queen c3 by Black, queen e8. So this is looking very nasty. the knight is going to come in to attack in combination with the queen. Knight b2, knight f5. Now there's a threat to play knight e7 check and take the bishop. Queen c7. So preventing knight e7, and now Wienandts had calculated precisely to the end of the game. This is a very, very nice finish. And, you know, again, this is move 45. This game has been going on a very long time, and it takes fantastic concentration to be able to calculate with accuracy after so many hours play. He found bishop b6, a winning move. Very nice. So first of all, if queen takes, then check, and then we take on f8. It threatens queen g8 mate, and, well, it's all over.
Players, please take your seats. We'll start in 3 minutes.
That's the next round about to start.
Players are
Okay.
kindly requested
Yeah, we heard you.
to
Okay.
take their seats. We start in 3 minutes.
I'll just wait for that to... I think he's finished. That was the call for the start of the next round. Okay. And if queen b7, and now the bishop bounces round to the back. It's very attractive, actually, queen and bishop. So if black waits, it's all over. So black counterattack with queen c2, and this is what Wienandts had to calculate carefully when he started with knight f5 and bishop e6. King h3 and queen d1. So now black threatens a counterattack, but Wienandts had this under control. He checked. King h7 and queen takes bishop. It's clear that black cannot defend on the king side. His only chance is to counterattack. Queen h1 check. King came up, h5, and here's where it starts to get a little bit tricky. If this pawn is taken, check. And g6, and the king is caught in a mating net. So, well, here and queen takes, it's over. Of course, if instead king g5, then queen f4 is mate. And, well, if king f5, this also loses, check, and queen g4 mate. So king g5 was played. That's, you can probably hear that. It's the call for the start of the round in 1 minute now. So king g5, white's king has to tread so carefully. f6 check. And now you see, after f6, the king has an escape route. Queen h3 check. White blocks, and now the king slips into e6. This is beautifully done. And king f7.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the
the king comes to the other side of the board. It finds safety. There's no check on g6 because of the knight. And there's no defense to queen g8 and queen h8. Mate. A nice finish by Luc Wienandts. I don't know if you can still hear me actually, because of this arbiter who's announcing the start of the round. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that finish, and there'll be more coming tomorrow. Thank you.